I'm at the MDT stand. I'm here with Buck Holly, MDT shooter. How are you, mate?
Great. How are you doing, Rusty?
Good, man. So you're going to take us through this brand new product from MDT and these bipods as well.
Yes, sir. I'm going to take you through both of our new product releases for 2019. So I was approached by MDT about 9 months ago after they saw my prototype chassis that I had made in our machine shop, and we together had a goal to create the most practical, no frills chassis for precision rifle shooting. So we started off with a list of requirements. One, we needed a vertical grip. A lot of people like the vertical grip, but we also wanted to give users the ability to put an AR style grip on it, so you have two choices. You can use the vertical grip or put the standard AI style. We wanted a large trigger well, so you can get in there with fingers and gloves and all kinds of stuff. We have a cut on the bottom of the chassis, so you can get in with an Allen wrench to adjust your trigger if you happen to have a trigger tech, etc., that you can adjust it without taking the barreled action out of the chassis. Next, we move on to the Magwell. We wanted a large flared Magwell, so while you're on the clock, you won't have any problems getting your mag in there. We also wanted a huge barricade stop, so when you're shooting a stage and you run this into a barricade, you're not going to get any mag tilt, which causes feeding issues in a lot of rifles. So we put in a big barricade stop here. Next, we wanted a lot of real estate that is flat on the bottom that will also incorporate the new trend, which is Arca Swiss. So we have 17 inches of Arca Swiss, which allows you to take any of your bipods that are Arca Swiss compatible and move them front to rear. So if you happen to be shooting off of a 55-gallon drum, you move it all the way back, and you can easily shoot off of the top something that's fairly small. Next, if you'll notice, there's a lot of screws in here. So what we also wanted to accomplish a goal that the stock as itself sits will be about 4.5 pounds, and you can increase the weight up to 14.5 pounds. We accomplished that by integrating a deep channel inside the front of the stock, so you can incorporate up to 5 steel barrel weights. Then we have M-Lock on the sides. You can add up to 5 sets of weights on the sides. They all have a flush cup for mounting a sling, or you can put pick rails or whatever you want. It's very modular. You can tune it to where you want the balance point by moving and taking out weights. You'll notice in the bottom of the stock that it's inletted about 50 thousandths deep. And if you don't know what that's for, you take grip tape. After you incorporate all your weights, you cover this in grip tape, and then when you put your stock on a bag, it'll create friction and will reduce recoil. So those are the major components of the new chassis system. We recycled the butt stock from the ESS to keep it similar because everybody likes it. We added a weight. So in its native form, when you buy it for $995 retail, it weighs about 4.5 pounds. You can add all the weights and get it up to about 14.5 pounds. When you put in your standard barreled action with the scope, you can get it up into the 25 to 28 pound range. So then we're going to move on to the Skypod. I've been running a Skypod for about a year. I turned on MDT to these guys and I said, hey, this thing is baller. It is single-handedly the best bipod I've ever used in my life. So run down a few features. It comes in Arca Swiss compatible, or you can get this changed out and it'll come in Picatinny rail. You'll notice it has a 1-inch by 2-inch barricade stop. Where would you use that? Well, you slide it on your gun, tighten it down, and the way I like to use it is I'm shooting on a rock or a barricade, I'll put a bag in here and I'll sandwich the bag between my barricade stop here and my barricade stop here. It'll reduce or take out much or all of your recoil. So in this configuration, it's lower than most all bipods on the market. With one hand, you're instantly taller than most bipods on the market. and 2 more clicks, and you're up to about 18 inches taller than you're in your lowest form, and you're taller than most bipods. You can rotate this 360 degrees in case you wanted to use this as a barricade stop and run it into something. Lastly, my favorite feature. Let's say you're shooting a rooftop, got your legs splayed out, you're shooting a prone stage. Pow, pow, pow. Now you got to go to a rooftop that you're going to shoot off of a rooftop forward like this. Most bipods have about 30 degrees of cant. And then you got to start monkeying around with the legs to get your gun level. The Skypod has 170 degrees of rotational cant from left to right. So there's hardly a surface that you'll find that you won't be able to level out your rifle. So there are our 2 major new product releases for 2019. The ACC, my baby, and the Skypod. Go to MDTTAC.com and check them out for yourself. Boom.